New details now on the sudden death of rapper Juice WRLD.
In the hip-hop industry, there is an incredible tragedy in the number of murdered musicians, but no less tragic are those who were lost to drugs. Let us remember them all. Welcome to the top art legends. DJ Screw died in 2000. Robert Earl Davis Jr., better known as DJ Screw, was most famous as the creator of the DJ technique known as chopped and screwed. Davis released over 350 mixtapes and was recognized as an innovator, primarily on a regional level, until his death from a overdose in 2000.
He was one of the most soft-spoken people I've ever met in my life. He's one of the most peaceful people I ever met in my life. And I can't remember, not even mad, I can't remember Screw getting upset about nothing. I mean, personally, I mean, every time I was around him, he had a great attitude. And that reflected through the people that he worked with, man. He made people better. I could say that just by being his friend.
On November 16th, 2000, Davis was found dead in his Houston recording studio, located in a house on Commerce Park Drive. The came from cough syrup he had been prescribed, which he mixed with soda to dilute it, commonly known as purple drink. Besides, his blood contained other prohibited toxic substances, hereafter referred to as prohibited toxic substances per YouTube guidelines, which led to an overdose. However, some close rapper friends speculated that he might have been killed. By 2005, his legacy began to reach a wider audience, continuing to influence many artists.
Drive around Houston today, and you will see DJ Screw's face painted on walls. You will see people wearing his shirts. You will hear his music in the streets. His legacy is very much alive. And the sound is global now. Really, so many people have adopted and adapted Screw's sound.
Old Dirty Bastard died in 2004. Russell Tyrone Jones, better known as Old Dirty Bastard, aka ODB, was one of the founders of the New York rap group Wu-Tang Clan, formed in 1992. He also pursued a solo career, starting with his album Return to the 36 Chambers, the Dirty Version, 1995. This guy was famous for his outrageously profane, free associative rhymes delivered in a distinctive half-rapped, half-sung style.
I went and bought me an outfit today that costed a lot of money today. You know what I mean? Because I figured that Wu-Tang was going to win. I don't know how y'all see it, but when it comes to the children, Wu-Tang is for the children. We teach the children. You know what I mean? Puffy is good, but Wu-Tang is the best, okay? I want y'all to know that this is ODB and I love you all.
His career was tumultuous, involving robberies, shootouts, prohibited substances, and eventually imprisonment. After his release in 2003, it seemed like he was starting fresh. However, in November 2004, while at a recording studio in Manhattan, Old Dirty Bastard collapsed and died. Before the session, he had complained of chest pain. The official cause of death was a heart attack, and the rapper's autopsy revealed that it was triggered by intoxication from prohibited toxic substances.
Met a nigga like Dirt ever in my life.
Dirt was real.
Dirt
no,
was,
me neither.
Yo, he was.
I mean, I'm y'all cousin. I'm like y'all third cousin.
Yo, he was everything, yo.
Yeah.
He gave me my soul. He made me not really like give a about nothing. Like, I met him with RZA. I'm eating the hero, pastrami and cheese shit, hot and all that shit.
This is the first day you meet him?
First day I meet him. The nigga said to me, yo, God, get a piece of that.
Dante Ross, who signed him in 2002, said, "He was a calamity waiting to happen. That's kind of the beauty of it." Pimp C died in 2007.
My hot boy, like a hot flame in my whole payment.
Chad Butler, aka Pimp C, was best known for his work with Bun B as one half of the hip-hop duo Underground Kings, UGK. After signing with Jive Records in 1992, UGK became regarded as the godfathers of the Houston hip-hop scene. The group's third album, Ridin' Dirty, 1996, was widely acclaimed as a hip-hop classic, blending soul music with unapologetic rhymes about Southern street life.
Police, they wanna run in, talking on cell phone.
On December 4th, 2007, Butler was found dead in a Los Angeles hotel room. He was in the city for a performance with rapper Too Short. His death was ruled accidental, caused by a combination of cough syrup overdose and his pre-existing sleep apnea condition. Although initially reported that the syrup was over the counter, a medical examiner concluded that the prohibited toxic substances found in his body came from a prescription drug, leading to the overdose. 2 days after Pimp C's death, UGK received their first Grammy nomination. Baatin died in 2009. Titus Glover, known as Baatin, was a co-founder of the progressive hip-hop group Slum Village. Slum Village produced several R&B chart hits, including the 2002 album Trinity and the 2004 album Detroit Deli. On July 31st, 2009, he was found dead in his home. Initially investigated as a homicide, the medical examiner later determined that Glover's death was accidental, caused by toxic exposure to prohibited substances. Eyedea died in 2010. Michael David Larson, known as Eyedea, was a freestyle champion celebrated for his poetic talent, which deeply influenced his lyrics. In addition to his solo work, Larson was a prolific collaborator. With DJ abilities, he released 4 studio albums, one of which was posthumously published as the duo Eyedea and Abilities. Concurrently, he founded an experimental jazz rap quartet called Face Candy.
Instead of scathing, bathing in the dissected.
On October 16, 2010, Larson passed away in his sleep due to respiratory depression caused by accidental overdose on prohibited substances. Chris Kelly died in 2013. Chris Kelly, one half of the 1990s rap duo Criss Cross, was part of the youngest hip-hop group to achieve commercial success, releasing several chart-topping hits at the ages of 12 and 13. On May 1st, 2013, Chris Kelly passed away. According to his girlfriend, Kelly had taken a mixture of prohibited substances the night before, and she had brought him home to recover. Following an autopsy, it was concluded that his death was accidental, caused by an overdose of a cocktail of prohibited toxic substances. ASAP Yams died in 2015. Steven Rodriguez, known as ASAP Yams, was a co-founder of the rap collective ASAP Mob. ASAP Yams played a pivotal role in launching ASAP Rocky's career. Much of what you hear in Rocky, a fully assimilated take on hip-hop styles from across the country and from across time periods, can be traced back to Yams. Tragically, on January 18, 2015, ASAP Rocky and a friend found Rodriguez unresponsive at his home. Reflecting on the event Rocky shared in 2015, "I just look at his face. I look at Lou. You could just tell. We knew. I was scared. I was wilding on everybody like, who let him do drugs? Even though you can't blame nobody." Yams' death was ruled accidental due to an overdose of prohibited toxic substances.
He had one of the purest souls I ever met. And he had one of the oldest souls I ever met. I did not know he was young, bro. I thought that nigga was my age. He knew everything about the era. And so I never got a chance to say, yo, how old are you? Because I just knew he was my age because of how knowledgeable he was.
Lil Peep died in 2017. Lil Peep was a pivotal figure in emo rap, credited with pioneering the emo revival style that blended rap and rock music. He was a member of the emo rap collective Goth Boy clique and became an inspiration for outcasts and youth subcultures. On November 15, 2017, Lil Peep's manager found him dead on his tour bus while checking on him before a scheduled performance in Tucson that evening. He had died from an overdose. Hours before his death, Lil Peep had posted a series of Instagram updates claiming he had taken several types of prohibited substances.
El Paso, I took 6 and I was lit. I'm good, I'm not sick. I'm gonna see y'all tonight.
In one post, he mentioned taking 6 pills and shared a video of himself struggling to swallow an unidentified pill before finally ingesting one, shaking a bottle in another clip. His last post read, "When I die, you'll love me." Sadly, his cause of death was determined to be a powerful overdose from those same prohibited substances. Mac Miller died in 2018. Malcolm James McCormick, known as Mac Miller, began his career on Pittsburgh's local hip-hop scene in 2007 at the age of 15. His debut studio album, Blue Slide Park, 2011,
So, who you know that's iller than Mac Miller and Company?
became the first independently released debut album to top the U.S. Billboard 200 chart since 1995. On September 7, 2018, Mac Miller was found dead in his home due to an overdose of prohibited toxic substances. Juice WRLD died in 2019. Jared Anthony Higgins, known as Juice WRLD, became a leading figure in the emo and SoundCloud rap genres, which gained mainstream attention in the mid to late 2000s and 10s. Juice WRLD was best known for his viral hit, Lucid Dreams, 2018, and frequently addressed mental health, death, and drug use in his music. On December 8, 2019, Juice WRLD suffered a seizure during a police search of his private jet at Chicago's airport and later died at the hospital. Authorities reported finding firearms and on the plane after receiving a tip about possible prohibited substances on board. His death was ruled an accident caused by poisoning from prohibited toxic substances. Hella Sketchy died in 2019. Jacob Tyler Thurston, known as Hella Sketchy, was a member of the SoundCloud supergroup D1. Jacob was a talented and successful producer whose beats were used by artists such as Juice WRLD, Ugly God, Wintertime, Lil Tracy, Black Cray, and PNB Rock. He collaborated with renowned producers like Charlie Shuffler and Diablo. His breakout came with the single Spent a Check, which garnered millions of views on YouTube. Hella Sketchy's influence on the underground SoundCloud scene is undeniable, and his music remains a reminder of the harm caused by drugs and the loss of a brilliant individual far too soon. On June 13, 2019, Jacob was found unconscious from an overdose of prohibited toxic substances. He was rushed to an emergency hospital and remained in a coma for 14 days before passing away on June 27, 2019. "Never in a million years would I have imagined that it would end like this," said his father. "The conversation regarding drugs, depression, mental illness, social media needs to be happening more openly, without judgment and stigma. Jacob's life was not and will not be in vain." Lexii Alijai died in 2020.
Life, but the nigga made me feel right.
Lexii Alijai was a part of the Twin Cities hip-hop scene, In 2017, she released Growing Pains, her only full-length studio album. Alijai was a rising star in the local music community when she tragically passed away in Minneapolis on January 1st, 2020, due to an overdose from a combination of alcohol and a powerful painkiller. "You're a real legend. If you know her or heard her music, you'd feel chills," wrote a cousin of Alijai's on Facebook. "Rest in paradise. You'll never be forgotten. I'm so lost for words. My beautiful cousin with so much talent and a unique soul. It's too soon." DMX died in 2021. Earl Simmons, known as DMX, was a New York rapper famed for iconic hits like Party Up, Up in Here, and X Gon Give It to Ya. He also starred in action films such as Exit Wounds, Cradle to the Grave, and Romeo Must Die. On April 2nd, 2021, DMX suffered a heart attack caused by an overdose of prohibited toxic substances and was rushed to the hospital. Simmons experienced hypoxia, oxygen deprivation, to his brain, and paramedics attempted to resuscitate him for 30 minutes. The next day, reports confirmed that he was on life support in a vegetative state with lung and brain failure and no detectable brain activity. On April 9th, 2021, DMX passed away.
If I was to drop it right now, my last thought would be, I've had a good life.
Earl was a warrior who fought till the very end, read a family statement. He loved his family with all of his heart, and we cherish the times we spent with him. Earl's music inspired countless fans across the world, and his iconic legacy will live on forever. Shock G died in 2021. Gregory Edward Jacobs, known as Shock G, was the vocalist for the hip-hop group Digital Underground. He was responsible for the iconic track The Humpty Dance and Tupac's breakthrough single I Get Around, and served as a co-producer for Tupac's debut album, Tupacalypse Now. On April 22nd, 2021, Jacobs was found dead in a motel room in Tampa, Florida, due to an overdose of prohibited toxic substances. Aaron Carter died in 2022. Aaron Charles Carter began performing at the age of 7, following in the footsteps of his brother Nick Carter of the Backstreet Boys. At age 9, he released his self-titled debut album in 1997, which sold millions worldwide. His second album, Aaron's Party, Come Get It, 2000, sold over 3 million copies in the United States, leading to performances on Nickelodeon and tours with the Backstreet Boys. In recent years, Carter transitioned toward a rap career, starting with his 2014 single featuring rapper Pat Solo, Ooh Wee. On November 5th, 2022, his body was found in the bathroom of his California home. An autopsy revealed that Carter drowned in his bathtub while under the influence of prohibited toxic substances. Sad Frosty died in 2022.
Making millions from my music, man, I get it how I live.
Sad Frosty, a Houston-based rapper and social media star, had a strong online presence with over 40 million followers on Spotify and 63,000 followers on TikTok. He was also popular on YouTube, where his comedic music videos garnered over 9 million views. His hit track, Swerve, from the 2019 album Playground, amassed over 13 million listens on Spotify. On January 14th, 2022, Sad Frosty passed away due to an overdose of prohibited toxic substances. "I would trade everything I have to have you back," wrote DC The Don, mourning the loss of his friend. Coolio died in 2022.
Ain't no tripping, ain't no fools in the party said trip.
Artist Leon Ivy Jr., known as Coolio, was most famous for his Grammy-winning single, Gangsta's Paradise.
I would like to claim this Grammy on behalf of the whole hip-hop nation, West Coast, East Coast, and worldwide. United we stand, divided we fall. Recognize.
However, the other tracks were not in vain either.
We can do it on the pool table. Yo, look so tempting.
He also gained recognition as a member of the gangsta rap group WC and the Mod Circle. Beyond music, Coolio created a 6-episode reality show, Coolio's Rules, 2008, a web series titled Cookin' with Coolio, and published a cookbook. On September 28, 2022, Coolio passed away at a friend's home in Los Angeles. His longtime manager, Jarez Posey, stated that Coolio had gone to the bathroom, and when he didn't return for a long time, friends broke down the door and found him unconscious on the floor. His death was ruled an accident caused by an overdose of prohibited toxic substances. Additionally, Coolio had asthma and cardiomyopathy, which may have contributed to his passing. Big Scarr died in 2022. Alexander Woods, known as Big Scarr, received his stage name after surviving a serious car accident at 16, which left a large scar on his body when he was thrown through the windshield. Signed to Gucci Mane's 1017 Records in 2020, Big Scarr released his single Soisy Boys that June. His debut mixtape, Big Grim Reaper, reached 25th on the Billboard 200 chart. On December 22, 2022, Woods passed away at his girlfriend's home due to an accidental overdose of prescription painkillers. His uncle mentioned that he didn't know where Scarr obtained the pills, but confirmed that the rapper struggled with severe depression, which worsened following his grandmother's death. Gangsta Boo died in 2023. Lola Chantrell Mitchell, known as Gangsta Boo, gained fame as a member of 3-6 Mafia, joining the group at the age of 14. After releasing 6 albums with them, she left the group and their label following the release of her second solo album, both Wrld's 69, 2001, due to financial disputes and issues with album promotion. Later, she released several more albums and gained recognition for collaborations with artists like Eminem, Glorilla, Outkast, Foxy Brown, Tinashe, Lil Jon, and others. On January 1st, 2023, Lola was found dead in her Memphis home. The cause of death was determined to be an overdose of prohibited toxic substances. Her recent collaborator, fellow Memphis rapper Glorilla, shared on Instagram after Boo's passing. I normally don't post screenshots, but the fact that she reached out to me before anybody else had a clue who I was. She always supported me and the girls way back before we blew up. A real legend. There will never be another Gangsta Boo.
Lean back 'cause I'm so cool. I ain't never.
Rich Homie Quan died in 2024. DeQuantes Devontae Lamar, known as Rich Homie Quan, began his career in 2010 and achieved mainstream success with his 2013 single Type of Way, which peaked at number 50 on the Billboard Hot 100. Alongside fellow Atlanta rapper Young Thug, he was part of the Cash Money Records spin-off project Rich Gang, which gained massive success with the 2014 single Lifestyle. On September 5th, 2024, Lamar's brother woke up at 3 a.m. to find him lying on the kitchen floor with food in his mouth, which he described as very unusual. he moved him to the couch. At 11 a.m., a woman called the police after noticing Lamar was cold and unresponsive. The cause of death was confirmed as an overdose of prohibited toxic substances. After his death, Lamar's family issued a statement expressing their hope to preserve his legacy. While he leaves us with an undeniable hole in our hearts, we are comforted by knowing his music and triumphant spirit lives on. Quan's legacy will forever be cemented as a soundtrack to our lives. And for this, we are grateful. In this tragic list, Eminem could have been included, but he didn't lose to his addiction.
I had a pretty bad experience, like not last Christmas, but the Christmas before. And you know, when I did the Vibe article, I kind of just came out and told everything, but I actually overdosed on which I didn't even know what I was taking at the time. I didn't know it was had a near-death experience where I literally almost died, and then came out the hospital, and about a month later relapsed again. And that's how I knew, like, this is a disease. You know what I mean? This isn't like, this is not nothing to do with willpower. Like, willpower is like, I don't want that piece of cake over there. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to eat it. This is a different thing. And I had to come to the realization that, you know, when I was ready to face it, like, I'm an addict. You know what I mean? Then, you know, I was ready to get clean. I think that it was overall, it was like the overdose. And then when I relapsed, I kind of shot back up to the same point with the drugs that I was already at. And it just scared me. So I just went to some friends who was just like, yo, I got a problem. I need help.
Who were those friends?
Well, I'm not going to say who those friends were. It was just people in my circle. You know what I mean? Just people that I trust.
My name is Marshall. I'm an addict.
Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell. You can also write a comment in the comment section down below. See you later on the Top Art Legends.